Hey there. There's one thing I've heard a lot in my life that just drives me nuts, especially when I say it. And that is, I don't have any time. It's getting to the point where it really is driving me nuts. It's one of my pet peeves. Like I said, especially when I say it, because I say it just as much as anyone else does. But, when people talk about people who have gotten wealthy, I'm not talking about those that are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. I'm talking about the people that are called the self-made millionaires. First of all, there's no such thing, okay? Unless they can start pooping out gold and silver, they're not self-made. Now, I'm not taking away any credit about what they do, but these are people that are driven, that have an idea, they follow it, they find an audience or find customers for what they want to sell. You know, between the years, it's a lot of it, especially at the beginning, is their effort. Their ideas, their dreams, their inventions, whatever. But in order to get big, in order to get wealthy, they have to use something that they learn, hopefully sooner than later, is the concept of leverage. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if using any kind of tools, like just getting a piece of rebar to move a rock, you put it on top of one rock and shove the end under another, and we'll go off to the very end and start pulling up. You notice you can move something really heavy when you have that lever, okay? It means you're using something, a tool. I don't like calling people tools, but in this case, it's like using a tool to get more done with less effort. Now think about what you do in your life. What things do you do every week? Okay, if you're in an area where you actually have grass growing, where I live, it doesn't grow very easily. But, you do yard work. You pull the weeds, you trim the trees, you cut the grass. Now, that may be your zen. It was for me back in the day. I used to love mowing my lawn, and when I get done, step it aside and look at the beauty of what it looks like after it's been freshly mowed. But the thing is that if you really want to do something new, start a business, go to school, whatever it is, what are you doing that you shouldn't be doing? And I'm not talking about neglecting it. I'm not talking about the dishes in the sink piling up a week's worth and, you're starting to attract bugs and everything else. I'm talking about having other people do it. Now, like I said, mowing the lawn, that was my zen, man. I tell you, if I go out and work in the yard, the whole world goes away. I just used to really love doing that. But the thing is, that wasn't getting me to where I wanted to go. Cutting the grass doesn't help me with my real estate investing or creating some other business. It takes up time. So I started applying something I learned a long time ago, and that's leverage. When I was a kid, I think I told you in another video, I did things like cutting grass for other people. I was just a little kid, borrowed the mower from my dad, and found houses that the yards weren't being kept up. I would go there, knock on the door, and say, hey, I'd do it for you. Sure, I way underpriced my services, but I was a kid. What do I know? In college, I was really good at tutoring, math tutoring, and that was a good side hustle for me, supplemented my financial aid, which wasn't much. But the thing is that I was providing a service for somebody else, something I enjoyed and also compensated quite well. But people do that too. Like, there are people that like to garden, to, mow lawns. There are people who like to clean houses. Now, here's one thing I found out about people when I hired them to do things like that is, number one, they did the same, comparing apples and apples. They did what I did in a fraction of the time, number one, and also better than I did. And sure, it cost me money, but I was freed up to do other things. Now, you can do this also for your hobbies or whatever. If you'd rather, go out to a ball game than cut the grass on the weekends, go out and watch your kids' baseball game, that frees you up for that. But when people start doing things that they really want to do, like I said, go to school, get a degree, learn a new trade skill, start a business, or even just look for a better job, use your leverage. Every time you go in the kitchen and you're cleaning up the kitchen or vacuuming or cleaning your tub or shower or, washing your car. I mean, think about it. When I used to wash my own car, you go to the car wash, it gets done in a fraction of the time than when I was doing it. And I did it back in the day because I thought I can't afford it. Well, the thing is, you can always make more money. You can't make more time. So anyhow, the bottom line here, and this just popped into my head, and it's just been stuck in my craw, just been bothering me because I've been saying the same thing. I can't afford it. I can't afford it time-wise. I can't afford it money-wise. But the thing is, it's like an investment. Once you get going, yeah, it's going to cost you some money. But if you use that time that you were doing chores, washing the car, cutting the grass, whatever, doing your taxes, I'm trying not to be mean here, but there are people that enjoy doing accounting and things like that, doing taxes. I mean, a tax guy I had some years ago, man, I think he ate and slept and breathed taxes and accounting. I mean, he was just really into it. To me, I hate that word, tax, and I hate doing taxes, and I hate doing accounting. But, the thing is that even if it's not saving you some time, it may save you some stress and anxiety and a headache. So the next time you see yourself or in the middle of doing something like chores of something, washing your car, cutting the grass, cleaning the house, and the same day you think to yourself, I can't do X, whatever it is, because I don't have time. Think about leverage. You don't have to do everything, or, what they call it, delegate everything in your life to other people. But think about what it will solve in your life if you can take that time and apply it to what's important to you, your goals, your dreams. Like you might be in your mid-40s and you never got your college degree, or, not even graduated from high school. You can go back and do those things, but yeah, they take time. And there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no shame in delegating, okay? Like I said, there's people that really enjoy doing the kind of work that you don't want to do anymore. Let them have their fun. Let them do what they want to do. Let them enjoy that, after they've cleaned your house, they get a check from you or however you pay, that they make an income for something you don't want to do, but they don't mind doing, or they love doing. It's a win-win situation. So anyhow, next time you start saying to yourself or to others, I don't have time, look for a way to leverage your money and time to free you up to do what you really were put here on this planet to do. Anyhow, I'm just venting. You notice a lot of the videos I've been putting out are just me venting. But yeah, it's like I said, I do the same thing. I catch myself doing the same thing. It has a lot to do with the culture you grew up in, or your parents, or your family. There's a lot of things that I was taught about, do it yourself, DIY everything. My dad was like that. I remember one little side story here before I go. I remember I was trying to make a treehouse when I was real little, and I had some friends. My dad was in construction, so there was some spare wood laying around and some nails, and even as a little boy, I knew how to swing a hammer. And I remember coming into the house after we were done for the day, and my friends went back home. My dad said something like, "You're really good at telling other people what to do." And at the time, I didn't quite understand that, but I guess I was starting to somehow learn the concept of delegation, even as a small child. So anyhow, delegate, leverage. Remember those concepts and free yourself up to do what you want to do. Because trust me, if you got a full-time job, you got a family you got to take care of, if it's just not you, You need to find ways to make that time. Otherwise, you're never going to get off the dime. Trust me, I've been there, done that. But yeah, think about what you can give to others to help you out. And sure, you're going to pay them. So in the long run, you're going to be saving time to use for better purposes. And yeah, you're going to spend some money, but just think, if you're looking for a better job, going back to school, getting an education to where you can increase your income, your salary, double your salary, whatever, have someone else clean the house for you so you can have that time for study and going to school. Anyhow, and also for business, whatever you want to do. But think about leverage, think about delegating things so that you have the time to do what you really are meant to do. All right, with that, I'm going to get out of here. Have a great day.